What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Taste Like Music. A little review for you today. We're talking about my favorite album of 2025 so far, Sam Fender's People Watching. It's big. It's really big. It is an arena-styled heartland rock album from the young Brit, produced by the guy who brought us Coldplay's Mylo Xyloto and the progenitor of the indie arena heartland sound himself, Adam Granduciel of the War on Drugs. You'll also hear some Killers, some Zach Bryan, some Jeff Buckley if he were British on this album. And you'll also hear some Bruce Springsteen, the Heartland rock originator himself. I think this is probably the best mainstream showcase of guitar-oriented rock and roll I've heard in a long time, at least in the Heartland rock subgenre. The fact that it's going to be number one in Britain, it is number one in Britain, has outsold the rest of the top 10 combined, makes me think that yes, perhaps there is a future in which guitar is still relevant after all, which warms my heart, cold, cold heart. I was beginning to doubt that it would ever come back, but guitars still kicking in Britain. I'm also encouraged by a middling review in Pitchfork and lack of enthusiasm for the album in the TLM Discord. We know Pitchfork has no idea how to rate anything guitar centric like this. They might be able to suss out the next club classic, but anything in the rock and roll genre sounds this big, this slick, is going to draw their ire. And they gave it like a 6.7 or something ridiculous. And of course, the Discord is scared by anything that isn't indie. This is grandiose. It's, melodic. It's too anthemic for that crowd, but it gets me. This is what I want to hear from music from today. The first song, title track, reminds me a lot of Brandon Flowers' solo album, The Desired Effect, which was Cramser's 2015 Album of the Year and very high on my list as well. You got big striking piano chords, those 80s Dire Straits synths, the War on Drugs hustling tempo, that vague 80s Heartland feel updated for today. Even Fender's voice, despite being from another country, shares similarities with Flowers, especially when entering the chorus. Throw in unnecessary but awesome saxophone solo, a string-filled bridge, a War on Drugs guitar flourish. Your brain may not be able to ably parse out how you're feeling. Is it revulsion? Is there too much borrowing going on here? Or do you allow yourself to be fully swept away by the sheer audacity of Fender, Granduciel, and Marcus Dravs, who is the other producer? I, for one, think the answer should be just let yourself go. Let yourself enjoy over the top, overdone, and overwrought things again. Fortunately, the next tune doesn't fully commit to that sound again. It eschews much of the Arena Springsteen by way of Granduciel sound for a steel string propelled, moderately anthemic tune that's closer to 90s singer-songwriters. I get some like Freddie Johnston in there than that 80s sound. Like most every song on this album, Nostalgia's Lie showcases Fender's gift for vocal melodies. His vocals are never settled, they're restless in a good way. He does a good job of exploring his range. He's not Jeff Buckley, but he has some of that same adventurousness and quiver in his vocals. It makes it sound real, makes it sound emotional. You have a song like Chin Up, which is a rousing anthem, big rising chorus. I get a lot of killers in that one, especially Brandon Flowers' delivery. Wild Long Lie. This one reminds me a lot of Jeff Buckley. You got some mandolin, some acoustic guitar, minor key. It's aggressive and big, and nothing on this album is small. It's got a War on Drugs feel to it, and you have a nice shock of electric guitar that comes in, it sizzles. It's a little dirty. It's a good counterpoint to the exquisitely sad and pretty song that's being played. You have another Killers-esque song in Crumbling Empire. A little bit closer, brings in some harmonica, some nice ringing acoustic guitar, female backing vocals. Another one with a nice dirty guitar sound to it. You got those big, Michael Bay, Hollywood epic cinematic strings come in. It's got that grandiosity that most modern artists wouldn't touch, wouldn't know how to touch, wouldn't want to touch. I can't imagine this is going to appeal to the small, independent mind musical listener, but I'm not one of those. And I think if you allow yourself to succumb just even a little bit, you'll be helpless against the torrid perfection this album just hurls at you nonstop. And even in the smallest moments, this album isn't small. You know, it's like a J.J. Abrams film. There's no disguising the ambition, and I think that's important to keep in mind. Fender intends to bust the door down. You know, this is ambitious. This is born to run ambition for the 2020s. TV Dinner managed to mix things up a little bit. You got a Radiohead-like synth, a great quivering falsetto delivery from Sam. There's more space to it. It's not just a rehash of the War on Drugs killer sound. And you got some added brass in there that kind of brings Meeting Across the River vibes. It's not full on, tearing down the highway type music. There's some, some change ups, some space, some additional things going on that brings it back to a more personal level at times. And the album closes out with Remember My Name, which is a nice slow builder. He's kind of got almost a Sinatra-y vibe, maybe The Car, maybe Adele. It's that British, I think, in him. Songwriting, I think, these songs are built to maximize hummability, rememberability. They will just overtake you on a pure manufactured musical emotion, because that's what type of music this is. They're paragraphs of pretty sounding words that everyone can relate to without, cutting to the core of humanity. There's no Craig Finn level detail and intricacy here. But when the music is so dialed in and the chorus is so distilled to sing-alongs, you don't really notice, but you're not going to get, intricate portraits of human behavior outside of things you've already heard. Production-wise, Granduciel and Dravs do a great job of just making everything big, everything expansive, everything, memorable, and to, at a 10, it drops down a little bit. There are some moments where it's a little quieter, but for the most part, it wants you to feel every emotion in every instrument, in every little string part, in every little added brass, in every, big guitar riff. It's going for a big heartland rock by way of War on Drugs, and it nails it. The production is immaculate. It could be too much for some people, but I love it. I think it really emphasizes, uh, you know, everything about what Sam Fender's trying to do, and I have no real qualms with anything here. The performances, fantastic. Everybody here is a pro. The guitar fills are excellent. The acoustic sounds, the little riffs and melodies and notes are great. The bass playing is fantastic. The drums really have that, charging feel to it that sweeps you up. Um, and it comes down to the production. I don't know if there's anything here that goes beyond things that you've heard before. It's not, trying to reinvent the wheel. It's just trying to get you swept away in some really fine played instruments, guitars, bass, drums, with some added touches of the brass and the strings, harmonica here and there, little extras, little accoutrements that make everything sing. Favorite songs for me, probably Wild Long Lie, very Jeff Buckley-esque. Got some really great acoustic sounds on there. It's aggressive and big, takes you on a journey. Starts out a little softer, but by the end, there's this great electric guitar that comes in. It sizzles, and it's just a very emotional, powerful song. Least favorite song, nothing on here is below par. Maybe my least favorite is Something Heavy, which features Craig Finn from The Hold Steady on backing vocals. Feels a little anonymous. It doesn't have a great melody. It doesn't have anything, added flourishes that really, separate it from anything else. It kind of just feels like one of the few tracks on the album where there's nothing really new to say. Pretty much everything's been done. But again, nothing on here is bad. Nothing on here falls below, I think very good. So, worst song, kind of a misnomer. And that's it. I'm at a high 4 stars for Sam Fender's People Watching. It has everything I'm looking for in modern rock. It's just big, anthemic, epic, really well played, really well produced. Minor nitpicks. The lyrics could use a little work. I think he'll get better. Pretty early in his career. It's only his third album. I have very little negative to say about this album. I think it's great. And that's it. What do you think of People Watching by Sam Fender? Leave your comments in the comments section. I don't know if how popular this is in America. It's quite popular in Britain. Maybe we'll pull in some British viewers with this one. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, check out the description for all the good stuff, all the socials, links to our Patreon. You can join the Discord for a mere $1 a month. I'll be in there defending this album probably all year. You can also buy our new album from our new record label, Taste Like Records. We have On the Banks of Disappearing by Nordista Freeze, produced by our very own Jason Reese, on sale now, so check that out. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time here on Taste Like Music.